Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. Jan Fjørtoft is joining us tonight. He's very, very excited about the fact that Bayern Munich are facing Bayer Leverkusen in the last 16 of the Champions League. It's the draw of the round for Jan. Now, we know you guys are very excited about the bracket.
No, I don't mind the bracket. I like the Champions League bracket.
Craig, I know
it's a bracket, but there's a lot of good games. When we start to nip down, and once we get to the conference...
Imagine a bracket at a World Cup next year with all the teams in there. That would be a fantastic bracket.
I think we should have a segment with these guys going through the bracket.
I don't have a word to describe the Europa Conference bracket and the amount of guff. I mean, Steve and I were looking at it going, who's that? Who's that? Never heard of that.
That was the Europa.
They're from Cyprus.
No,
that's from Cyprus, Craig. Paus.
Who's Yargi Alano? Alania?
Slovenia? No, that's Ljubljana. Yeah.
Nobody knows.
Oh, Ljubljana, yeah.
Go and look it up to continue your geography lesson from yesterday. Okay.
I'm too busy to look and stuff like that.
Craig, I know it's too early to ask, but is the new Champions League format more clear and better than before now? Don't ask Stevie.
I'll be honest. I was bored of the old one. So, is it better?
It couldn't be worse, right?
No, it got a bit stale.
It did, aye.
I think the word for it was stale. And I think, to be fair, UEFA realised that, to be fair. I mean, we took the mickey out of the 36-team table for a while because it was a little bit. But now that we're at the last 16, there used to be a lot of sort of I would say kind of games in the last 16 before that were kind of easy. You know, he's going to win, they're going to win, they're going to win. So you'd get to the last 8 and then it would be, right, we seem to have got that a little earlier, and I think that's maybe because of the way they've set it up, but also because the teams from each country can face each other.
I mean, for us it's fun, isn't it?
I prefer it at the moment.
Right, but is there a problem that Liverpool top the league phase and then get PSG for their reward? Or is that just the same as when somebody you didn't expect to finish second in the groups did?
I mean, it really
that's because PSG...
Really
right, and I haven't given it, but is that not because PSG struggled?
That's what I mean. I suppose it still happened in the old format when teams that expected to finish top finish second.
I mean, it's sod's law. If
it ended up like that by design, then we would have had a bigger problem with it. But the fact that PSG qualified the way they did, you can't cover every base.
Right. Jan, do you enjoy or hate seeing teams in the same domestic league face each other in European competitions?
No, I love it, as you know. And you see the bracket, the all-English team in the Champions League are on the same side as well. So that could happen again. But I think that, taking it on from your last question about the new format, I think I like it. There's sometimes when you saw that guy at the UEFA having like 600 different rules and he was the only one in the whole world who understood the system. Fair enough, if you draw against each other, then game on. So I like the new format, and I also like that Madrid and Leverkusen Bayern, okay, that's fine. One of two great nations, football nation will have a team in the quarterfinals. That's fine by me.
You all right with it?
Well, unless you're actually playing for one of those teams, Bayern or Leverkusen or Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid, you're okay with it because it's a good game, it's exciting. But for them, no, they don't want that. You really don't want to be playing anybody in your own league.
And the teams
in the European competition.
And the teams at the top, one of the good things about it is they got a rest. Or they should have done. Liverpool were unfortunate that the Merseyside derby was called off when his Nibs was back in the UK a few weeks ago and the wind was howling and the storms were coming in and they had to play it in that window. If that hadn't happened, Liverpool would have got a rest, which most of the big teams are all crying out for. So that's a good carrot to be dangled for finishing in that top 8, I think it is.
Yep. For Jan, how are you handling Manchester City's loss? Were you there to console Haaland?
Yeah, I'm seeing him tomorrow. We're doing an interview with him tomorrow. I'm not sure if I have to console him, but it's quite interesting to see what's going on at Manchester City. I mean, we can talk of the Leicesters back in the days winning the Premier League. We can talk about Nottingham Forest this season. But I mean, the biggest surprise is what has gone wrong at Manchester City. Yes, the easy answer is Rudi, but that is just the easy answers, because there's a lot of things going on at the back. How they recruited player in the summer. How did they start the season? Yes, they won at Chelsea, I guess, but the next games they were terrible. So now I don't think I have to comfort him, because he will end up with 35, 40 goals anyway. So as a Norwegian, I would say it's not his fault.
Okay, he's going to be fine. We need to get the Champions League bracket back up, because we're going to ask the next question. Which under-the-radar team is most likely to make a prolonged run in the Champions League? Is there anyone that you think can't be counted out?
That's a piece of string, isn't it?
Aye.
What's prolonged? I mean, all right, so I don't think Feyenoord will knock out Inter.
If Leverkusen win it, does that count? If Leverkusen win it, does that count?
I suppose it would, wouldn't
I mean,
it?
Club Brugge or Aston Villa are going to probably get Liverpool. I don't know.
Do you have any thoughts on it, Jan? An under-the-radar team.
Lille.
Yeah, I would say Lille, because we have seen the lack of form of Dortmund in the Bundesliga. Niko Kovac.
In the Bundesliga, in the Champions League, it's two different things for Borussia Dortmund, Jan.
Borussia Dortmund won in the final last year.
But
how did they qualify?
And the manager was gone after being in the final. But I think it's Lille, because Benfica, Barcelona. Yes, Barcelona got a good season in La Liga, but still, I think Lille can be the, what did you call it? Prolonged? That's hard for me, a Norwegian. Prolonged
run.
Prolonged run.
Okay, thank
You've got
you.
to have your teeth in.
Prolonged.
A longer run than expected. Okay.
Yeah, I think Lille. We'll take Lille.
Craig, should Leicester City sack Rudi? It looks like it's going nowhere with him, and they still have enough games left to save their season.
Oh, Sean
Well,
Dyche.
There's only one team really that can be caught, I think, and that's Wolves. I think the others are probably out of reach.
Yeah.
Do you know, I think if I owned that club, and the owners there are pretty ruthless, I think I might have a bash at it. If there was somebody, like a short-term contract. I don't know.
So here's the thing. The reason Leicester got relegated the last time they were in the Premier League is because of the back four. The amount of goals that they let in was absolutely scary. So they go into the Championship and they end up coming back up through the Championship with the same back four, and they're still playing the same back four this year, and the second bottom of the league, and they wonder what the problem is. So I'm sorry, I don't know whether it's Sean Dyche or anybody else.
But you've got to see it from an ownership point of view. Who think, oh, millions again. All right, parachute
Like, what have we
payment.
got to lose?
Yeah, I don't know what his contract is, Van Nistelrooy, but you know, if you're thinking about the last chance saloon desperation, then what?
But
I get that but that's not reality. The reality is they are where they are because they're not good.
Strikers
That was
Union.
how you set them up.
Jan?
yeah, but I think that Van Nistelrooy, I mean, we can't believe they will stay up with Van Nistelrooy, and what do the players think? And I think that's for everybody who sees what's going on in Leicester this season. Steve Cooper was fired because they had a chance to get in Rudi van Nistelrooy. Rudi van Nistelrooy would never have been fired at the same time and get Steve Cooper in. So I'm 100% sure, and that is against my striker union, is that with Steve Cooper would have been at the helmet at Leicester, they would have had more points.
Yeah, I mean, we're moaning about the football. And the thing is at Forest as well, he did a great job, but the football wasn't as good as it's been under. But they were moaning about the football because he's a guy that organises. But actually, guess what? You're not going to outplay teams in the Premier League when you're Leicester. You might outplay Southampton. No. So you need to have the organisation at the very bare minimum. You need to be organised as best you can with the Wout Vasses and people like that, which, as Stevie said, isn't easy. But you got to do something, and what they're doing at the moment is clearly just not. It's not even not working. It's not even giving them a chance. That's the problem.
I think, boys, when we discuss the different managers, how much time can Amorim have? How much time can Van Nistelrooy have? But we have to see that teams are good organized. Then you can still lose against the most team in Premier League, but you have to see them organized. And I can't at the moment see, when I see Leicester, that they're good organized. I can't see Manchester United being good organized. And I think that goes down to the manager, that if you can't have that, well, not a lot of hope.